ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back to part two of Prison Talk with Jamie Mead and
Emma Charleston.
this is what you call it? Winging.
I'm winging
Sunday.
Yeah, just winging it. Winging it again.
Winging it
You know,
Sunday. Free for all Sunday.
Free for all Sunday. What we're going to do is we're going to have to start being a bit more planny because I've been letting the team down. I've had some dramas going on in the real world here, as I like to call my life. But first up, I want to ask this question.
I did want to mention something.
All right, you did that. Go, mention away.
Yep. All right, let me say this first. I did find out because we've done an episode on the emergency response team continuously targeting my cell.
Yeah.
And I did find out that this targeting did come from he's in charge of the ERT team.
Yeah.
And his name is Brent Travel B. Yeah. He has an office in Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah.
And he is also the security threat group coordinator or director, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
And it was because of social media and the following that has been developed on social media. And I just want to say that because
that's ridiculous.
The public should be outraged because corrections officials are supposed to conduct themselves in a way. Their actions is an example to how responsible, ethically, morally sound people are supposed to conduct themselves.
Mm.
And their actions is something that we're supposed to be able to mimic.
Mm.
And this, by them showing an oppressive nature to try to oppress and intimidate me to stop my free speech. My free speech, my association, my education.
Yeah.
What is that telling prisoners? What is that demonstrating by them targeting me? What are the prisoners around me that know what I'm doing? What are they thinking? If I do this, they're just going to be on my head. They're going to just harass me, and that's what they're teaching them.
So
that is contrary to all policy.
Yeah. So. Let me just get this straight. The reason why that's happened, the first time included, was because of the social media.
Social media and education.
That's stupid to me. I mean, for starters.
So
that's
ridiculous. But they're more worried about the social media talking about change, talking about possibly closing prisons, possibly helping other prisoners, and opening a potential release valve on mass incarceration. That is such a concern to corrections officials because it jeopardizes.
Reception has just gone.
They are the drugs, the assaults, the crime. They're more concerned about that.
We lost you for a second.
Anything else?
We lost you for a
That
second.
should be an outrage.
We lost you for a second, but I think we got the gist of it.
People should be in an outrage over that. That they're more concerned about
how it looks.
Me putting the stuff out there about changing the criminal justice system, ending mass incarceration.
Yeah.
This is earning an education that's higher than them.
Yeah.
Their actions in no way show a responsible government employee.
Yeah, well, I just
wanted to put that out there.
I think that's ridiculous because this is all I'll say about this. So the gentleman's clearly knows about it. He's clearly, obviously, if he's going to go to the effort to organise people to come and bloody rage a room, he's obviously watched at least something to make sure, something that he can get you on. He's obviously heard at some point the GTL, I don't know, I'm pretty sure each video we have at least, usually at the end. So he obviously knows it's from a prison phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even to get a cell phone. It's basically to get you to basically get sick and tired of them raiding your room and breaking your shit. Excuse my language, but also don't.
Yes.
Because there is no other way to look at it except for intimidation.
No.
All right, well, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's the only way, because it's clear by the conversations and the telephone calls that you can hear. There's 1 minute left.
Yeah.
You can hear this is a phone call from the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Well, maybe not.
You are
In the beginning,
Now,
sometimes they don't hear that because I'm usually rambling on with some crap that's got nothing to do with what we're going to talk about in the podcast. But at the end, it's pretty much always there. So it's just pure intimidation. Stop talking.
Yes.
Basically. All right. Well.
And that just, that what that teaches those of us incarcerated? It teaches us that
If you don't
once
like
you
something.
get in power, you can oppress those that's underneath you.
Mm. Well, yeah. Well, it teaches you a lot of things. But that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous because I just think that's ridiculous. Anyway, I won't go on. I'll probably make things worse for you. So,
what was the question?
well, this is what occurred to me when we were talking about anyone with unrealistic goals and this is coming from the assumption they're serving life. They're setting goals for a re-entry program. I don't care where the re-entry program is from or what it is, but I'm assuming two things: they're serving life, and the job is to set goals. And then you said, shouldn't they correct their thinking? I'm assuming you're coming from I'm assuming when you said that you were coming from the perspective of A, it's education, B, it's changing. That's the whole point of this program, to change your mindset for re-entry. Now, if the people doing this really don't think that they're going to get out anyway, and they're just humoring them, then yeah, I suppose it is acceptable to enable them, right? I don't think it's necessarily right or ethical in some, depending on how in depth you want to get. Otherwise, it's utterly ridiculous and a problem within society as a whole. And I'm going to equate it to everybody gets a medal.
Yes, and that's where when you're not helping prisoners, you're allowing them to think this.
You're just not helping.
I don't know what you would.
You're just not helping.
Irrational, illogical, huh?
You're just not helping. You're just flat out blanket.
Oh, yeah,
you're just not helping.
Yeah,
you're just not. You're giving them
more than what
you're giving them time. You're giving them a way to pass time and maybe feel good about themselves and maybe talk to somebody that isn't in prison. By the sound, is that fair to say?
I mean, it's because when you get into some of those like the criminal personality, you get into Glenn Walters, criminal lifestyle. You get into these.
I'm gonna have to read about this so I know what you're talking about.
The design, where a lot of the stuff is based on this.
Yeah.
Based on their work of thinking errors and thinking patterns. You have to change those thinking patterns, and those type of thinking patterns are listed in there.
Yeah.
They're actually listed in there.
Well, here's a question.
And just like the.
Yeah, go. No, finish what you were going to say.
Well, for example, the uniqueness. I'm just unique, or I am. Or they use the concrete thinking. It's this way or no way, or the absolute thinking. It's a pattern. Everything is not concrete. There's gray areas. It's just not black and white.
That's my favorite saying.
There's a lot of there's a lot of opinions, but some things are factual.
Yeah.
You can't become a heart surgeon without going to medical school.
No.
And to think you can,
It's
and
delusional.
to enable a person to think they can, is delusional. So you're continuing to perpetuate that delusional state of mind.
Is it? Here's a theory, though. Well, not a theory. I don't know. Actually, I don't think theory is. It's a question, a statement. I'm not sure what it is. But assuming that person thinking that is not harming them or anybody else. Now, I'm using the word assuming. Assuming it's not harming them or anybody else. Is it so wrong? Is it so wrong to give them the time so that they can be heard and they can say whatever it is they're saying, and for that amount of time feel like they're special? Is it so wrong?
I mean, if you were in society and you were working with, 5, 6-year-olds, no, I don't think so, because now you're helping them develop just looking
Imagination or
beyond
something. Yeah.
But when you're working with people that have a grandiose thought pattern of themselves anyway, that they're this big Bill Gates next billionaire, it's
all right.
different.
Well, here's something else. Okay, it's coming from my perspective. Right. So you go in there and you think, oh, I'm going to help people and whatever you think, right? And then you're inside a prison. You've got all these guys or girls, I suppose, but obviously they're not mixing. So you've got all these guys in a room, and some of them are clearly delusional, out of touch, whatever. Maybe you just don't want to tell a room full of criminals that they're delusional and out of touch. Like, do you know what I mean?
But then again, you're not helping them.
Well, no, you're not. But I mean, I'm just trying to find reasons why.
That's why come in and do what you're doing if you're not going to truly help.
Yes.
It's just, in just my opinion, and someone incarcerated. And I'll give you another example. And I participated in the Inside Out college program with University of Michigan, Dearborn.
Yeah.
Or University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
They come in and they bring in 15 students, outside students, with 15 inside students.
Yeah.
And they run usually some type of class dealing with mass incarceration.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, she asked Becca, which is a professor, she asked, how can we improve this class? Or the Inside Out class? I said, quit lowering it down to a standard that is, I said, if I would have took 20 of these classes if I could have had the opportunity with these classes, because you don't even require no standard.
Yeah.
I could write nothing on a piece of paper and still pass.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Everyone. And she said, well, and then I said, they hurt some prisoners instead of helping them. And she said, how? I said, I know 2 people that had gotten out that went and enrolled in 3 community college classes.
Yeah.
And had to drop out because they said it was so hard. And they admitted the Inside Out program made them think that it was that easy.
Yeah.
That they could do the work. And they found out it was not the same.
Yeah. So maybe just a bit of realistic honesty when it comes to the realities is more helpful in the long run.
This one's going to hang up. Do you want to continue on another conversation? Or?
Oh, listen, I'm down for all conversations.
All right. Well, hopefully our listeners can listen to part 3 of this episode, and we will continue on that because the phone is about to hang up again. And this is for the corrections official.
Thank you for using GTL.
15-minute phone calls are really annoying. It would be so much easier if he'd just get himself a phone and do it all legally, but he won't. Damn.